Right. Martin Odegaard, injury setback. Guys, as Arsenal fans were jubilating, I think it was was it on Tuesday? Tuesday, one of those days, I came up with that story about Martin Odegaard, and he was really trying to obviously come back ahead of schedule. And guess what? 2 days later, a story shocking about his injury setback has gone ahead, obviously come up in here onto the Rokani Media Football. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, Endo has come out and obviously spoken about his limited minutes that is really getting in through at the side of Liverpool. And then Pedri is one of those that has come up and obviously wished Iniesta a very huge or good retirement from the game of football. So smash the like button close to 100 times and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun, and let's obviously get into these stories. Remember, we are powered by Mono Gadgets, dealers in brand new phones and brand new laptops. And after us having those, we are here to obviously understand better on what we are really going to be putting out to obviously find ourselves into position and really get into the best way possible in here as a side of Rokani Media Football. So go ahead and obviously call them on +256 70 256 70 99 88 665, and the rest is really going to be history, and you'll be enjoying yourself to the fullest as everything looks very much okay. So they have used phones and used laptops that they import from the United Kingdom. You can as well go ahead and obviously get into their spaces by really buying such. So that is what we have for now at Mono Gadgets, and the rest is really going to be history. And let's get well into the following. And Martin Odegaard is the topic to talk about, and he goes by the names of Conmar Bohals. Obviously, he works he worked at the Overlap, works for the BBC, and is Con Harrison. He has told us that Martin Odegaard has reportedly suffered a setback in his recovery and will now aim to return in December instead. Now, as I told you, the earlier reports on the return of Martin Odegaard indicated that he was going to return towards the end of November, right? But I think we are very surprised when he obviously showed himself coming up very soon, and he was on a treadmill trying to obviously push to return. But guess what? It has never gone ahead obviously come to plan like the physios of Arsenal who had already gone ahead to plan. And I think, I don't know what has gone ahead obviously to that setback, but all you want to understand is the guy known as Martin Odegaard is really a very big blow to the club of Arsenal, as they're really missing him on, and it comes in through as a very bad, or it comes in through at a very bad moment, because Martin Odegaard is injured, and we saw Saka walk off the field of play around the 53rd minute when England was losing to Greece. So it is really bad news and not good news to the side of Arsenal. So for Martin Odegaard, he'll obviously have to get back to the rehabilitation and see how he's really going to find himself into the ilk of really getting into the starting 11 of Arsenal. But December is really going to be very far from him, or December is really going to be very far for the Arsenal fans, because Arsenal really has some important games to play in the coming days, meaning that he's going to be missing the game of Bournemouth, Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League, Liverpool in the Premier League, Preston North End in the Carabao Cup, Newcastle in the Premier League, Inter Milan in the Champions League, Chelsea in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, Sporting Lisbon in the Premier League, then West Ham in the Premier League, and I think he might return when Arsenal is playing Manchester United. So he's really going to miss a couple of like 10 games in those weeks where he's really going to be away. If today is 11th and he's going to be returning in December, how many weeks are those? November, those are 4 weeks. And how many weeks are we left for this month to come to an end? 3. That means he's going to be out for 7 weeks. But don't trust the information coming in through from the physios of Arsenal as far as the return dates of these players are really concerned, because we've gone ahead to see most players of Arsenal return ahead of schedule, So we just have to sit down there and watch and see how everything is really going to be panning out into the mix. So that is Martin Odegaard for you. Injury setback for him. But all in all, I think Arsenal really has very many players that can play into that position. And one of those that has come up and obviously utilized his absentia to obviously announce himself as a number 10 that can obviously operate better into those positions is Leandro Trossard, right? Leandro Trossard is one of those that has put in a very huge shift that has resulted into the side of Arsenal really getting creativity and not missing Martin Odegaard to that level. So we wish him a quick recovery, but all in all, the physios of Arsenal have to do something great onto that. Now, Wataru Endo, obviously, before I go to Wataru Endo, he has joined Saka, Kientieni. Who else? Kientieni, Saka, Odegaard, Julian Timber, Benjamin White. So that is the list of Arsenal players that are really injured. But wait and see what Arteta is going to be telling us in the press conference next Friday, as these players will return from what we call the international break. And Trossard played yesterday, by the way, and he never really got injured, meaning that he's having one game to go, and Arsenal fans don't want to hear their players really getting more and more injured. Now, Endo Wataru, on his minutes this season at Liverpool, he said, I know the manager wanted to try various players because of the manager change, but winning all the titles requires everyone's strength and you have to rest players. Personally, I don't intend to leave. Just get in shape and get ready. This is the type of player that wins you trophies. So Wataru Endo is one of those players that was really integral into the team of Jurgen Klopp in his last season at the club of Liverpool, and it's Jurgen Klopp that went ahead obviously bring him on at the club of Liverpool. But it looks like, however much he was one of the best CDMs in the Premier League last season, this hasn't gone ahead obviously go down on well in the books of Anslot. Anslot believes that his fellow countryman, known as Gravenberch, is really a better player than Wataru, and obviously he is there on merit. I don't want anyone to come here and say, no, he's not there on merit. The guy is there on merit, because I've literally seen what he has gone ahead obviously put out on the field of play, and it has been really very, very amazing if you never knew. So at the look of things, I'm like, he's there on merit, because Gravenberch is a better player than Wataru Endo. Though Wataru Endo had a very good season last season, I cannot really say that he's really better than this guy. This guy is really better, I tell you. The guy called Gravenberch is better, but he shows you that he's still a very much positive player, and he believes that he should fight for his position, and the manager is trying to see to it that he gives him the best that he deserves, and see whether he considers him for Premier League games and Champions League games. I know Wataru Endo will obviously have a start in the Carabao Cup games, FA Cup games, but in these two games, or in these two competitions, that is the Champions League and the Premier League, it is really going to be limited edition for him. He's not going to get the minutes he wants as a player, but he says he doesn't want to leave the club of Liverpool. Obviously, at that age, playing for Liverpool was a dream come true. Remember, they bought him when he's really 30 years of age, and if you come in from Asia and you're Wataru Endo, obviously you don't want to leave Liverpool, and I know Liverpool don't want to obviously sell him because of financial reasons, because he's really gonna sell very many jerseys in Asia. As you know, Asia has one of the most populated countries there, and Japan can obviously show love to him hugely. I remember when United brought in Park Jin-sung, and the people were like, let's buy these jerseys, and United had to make some huge business from that side. So that is it. That We've gone ahead to get from Wataru Endo, and let's go to Gavi. Not Gavi, Pedri. Pedri is one of those players that obviously is trying to obviously fool the boots of Iniesta at Barcelona. They tick very many boxes because all of them are really products coming in through from the La Masia. Secondly, they are all talented players. You get? No one doubts the talent of this guy, right? No one doubts the talent of Pedri, and I think injuries had gone ahead obviously affect him a little bit, but he's back. But no sooner he heard that Iniesta had gone ahead obviously hung up his boots, you know, from football. This is what he had to say on Instagram. Thank you for making the dream of an entire country come true. Thank you for being a reference on and off the pitch, and most of all, thank you for your support in me. Best of luck for your next stage. Obviously, his next stage is really becoming a coach, and we don't know whether starting in from La Masia or not. Now, from that, Pedri went ahead to obviously show us that he really loved Iniesta and he imitated him a lot, and he was like, this is the reason as to why I really love Iniesta, and I've not going to love him just now, but even way back, I really loved Iniesta. He said, I was at the barber's with my father, and there was a Barcelona match on TV. I asked the barber to give me Andreas Iniesta's haircut because he is my idol. So, he was his idol way back when he was still young. And if you know, you know. You get? If you know, you know that Iniesta is really one of the goats of the game, and you cannot come out and rule him out like that. He's really one of those players that has come up and obviously put in a very huge shift throughout his career, and Pedri is like, I really loved the player and I loved him die. So guys, I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Odegaard setback, what you make about it, you know, and Wataru Endo limited time at the side of Liverpool, and then Pedri obviously bidding farewell to Iniesta, who he says is his idol in the game. I'm out for now. See you later, and bye-bye.